Okay. Thank you. It's 9:30. We'll call the meeting to order of the Board of Elections. Thank you. We'll call the meeting to order and begin with a roll call.
Commissioner Niebuhr.
Here.
Commissioner Bashi.
I'm here.
Commissioner Eichelberger.
Is there any public comment? Are there folks on the line that would like to make comment at this time?
No comment at this time.
Anyone in the room for public comment? Okay, none. We'll begin with the approval then of the minutes from the meeting of February 15th.
I will move to approve those minutes.
Thank you.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Director update.
Yes, good morning, commissioners.
Good morning.
So a few things for you as we're getting closer and closer to that time. We have begun processing our mail-in and absentee ballot applications that have been coming in quite steadily. We are at 12,191 so far. 8,310 of those are Democratic applications and 3,881 are Republican. The deadline to apply, just so everyone knows, is April 16th. And just a few things about the mail-in process that will change. The Department of State has now required that all of us use the same envelopes. We all sort of had a variation of something similar, but now we are all required to use the same thing. The only thing that can vary is size of the envelope, because depending on the vendor you use, your ballots folded in a different way. So I just wanted to bring these as an example so everybody could see what they'll look like. So this is your secrecy envelope now. If you recall, it was just white previously and said official election ballot. Now it's this lovely yellow. Everything's very color coded, very colorful now. That's the secrecy envelope. The return envelope that you will put the secrecy envelope in, and of course your ballot in the secrecy envelope will now be purple. And you can see the signature and date spots are highlighted to try to help with the missing dates or signature issue. And then this will be the envelope that everything comes to you in. So that's blue. Okay, so this will have all of your information inside of it, you know, your ballot and all the envelopes. Okay, so I'm gonna keep bringing these at every meeting just so it's on the record that they are different colors. And I'm working with communications on doing a new video that's how to vote by mail that will have all the new envelopes, because the one we have obviously now uses the previous envelope. So we want to make sure it's identical. So we'll be working on a new video this week actually to post on our website on how to vote for mail. And then these will be our instructions, pretty similar to what we had before, but now it's an 8.5 by 11 sheet instead of just the small. We used to just have this size. And it's very detailed instructions from the Department of State. Again, these are all required.
Bethany, I'd really like to, and we'll talk with Samantha about a whole phased plan. I'm concerned about some issues that I've heard that may be impacting this campaign. But so weeks out, just posting a picture of that, the envelope, what they will be receiving. This is your official envelope. And then at each stage, updating that communication. So that we're trying, what you're giving us here, we can try and get out to the public.
Sure. Yeah, that would be fine. And then of course, once we do the video and they do their edits and all the things to make it look great, we will send it over so you can see it before we post anything. It's similar to what we have on the website now. We just want to have obviously the new envelope. So. Okay.
And my concern is just not a once and done. It's going to be this repetitive messaging up to the day of election. Somewhat repetitive with, you know, as we cover new facets of it, but hitting it pretty regularly. Thank you.
Yeah. Also, just for everyone's knowledge, we have currently 3 pending court cases for statewide or congressional candidates that are holding up the ballot. We've had this before. It seems like we have it all the time. It's just extremely frustrating on our end because it slows up everything we're trying to do. Someone was removed from the ballot 2 days ago, William Parker, but he has until the 14th to appeal that decision. So all of these things make our lives more difficult as far as being able to finalize the ballot and move forward. So that's kind of where we are. 2 of those 3 pending cases The hearing was yesterday, no decision, and then there's one, the third one, the hearing's Friday. So I don't know when we'll have a decision, and I don't know how long the appeal periods will be for those decisions, which holds up the ballot.
Are they under any finite time where they absolutely have to get you a decision so we can move forward?
Unfortunately, no. It ends up coming to a point where we just have to make a decision and we have to say, this is our drop dead and we can't do anything after this point. Otherwise, we won't have ballots to mail to people.
Right.
Because we are required by law to mail them 2 weeks before the election. We always like to mail them 3 or 4 weeks. That's sort of our practice. And of course, we have to be able to have a ballot so we can do all of our testing and all of the things we need to do. And we have a solid date for the public test and all of those things. So there will come a point where it's drop dead and we just have to go with whatever we have.
Very good.
So I will keep you updated, obviously, on all of that. I also wanted to talk about, and again, something I will bring up at every Board of Elections meeting, kind of reminds me how you remind everyone to use the library systems. I'm going to do this every time. Starting in the next week or two, if it hasn't already, different groups, whether it be Republican Party, Democratic Party, third parties, Common Cause PA, I mean, I could list a million groups, will start sending out mail-in ballot applications to voters. Unfortunately, this causes chaos and confusion because I don't know where they're getting their lists because they're not accurate, they're not up to date. They're going to voters who we've had canceled or moved to a different county or moved to a different district for years. So I'm not sure where they're getting their voter information to mail these out. But unfortunately, it causes all sorts of chaos and confusion, and voters think they're ballots, that they're not applications. You know, unfortunately, it's just very frustrating, and it's going to start. So something I will mention is we do not mail out applications to voters unless they request them. We do not do mass mailings of any kind. The mailing we do of the mail-in ballot applications in February is because those voters are on a permanent list, which is them requesting that they get mailed an application every year. So again, it's a request. We do not do mass mailings of applications. So unless you've called our office and asked for one, you will not get it and it will not be from us. Now, what these groups are sending are valid applications. So if voters would wish to use them, they could. But again, if they receive 4 of them to the same address from 4 different groups, we're only going to send one ballot. One valid mail-in ballot application makes one ballot. So, and just to remind voters, they are not ballots. Open them up, candidates' names aren't listed there. It's just your name, your address, your date of birth, those types of things.
This is the kind of messaging that I'm talking about. It's almost going to have to be daily at some point, you know, with that. Once those start to hit too.
Are we doing a news release?
Yeah, I was just thinking about that, maybe a media veil with the new colors, and maybe we can get some of those ballots those mail-in applications. We're not sending these, and then show them to the media, show them to the public. I know they've done stories on that before, but it you know, they come in and people are still confused. This is not a ballot. This is a mail-in application, and you can't mail in 4 weeks. So, yes.
Are you putting something on the website with that messaging in mind?
Yeah, I think we did a press release, I believe, 2 years ago.
Yes, we did.
About this issue, and then we were interviewed and things like that. So I think, yeah, we need to get.
Yeah, we can do a proactive, because we do have different colors, and then we can lay it out on the line. The county can be on record as laying it out on the line.
Well, we're doing that too. That mail-in ballot, the return envelope, it doesn't say anything. What does the front of it say? First class postage required.
Which is something that we are fighting the state, well, not fighting the state, but I've been talking to them about it because they allowed us to change the instructions that say requires proper postage. Because their instructions said requires a first class stamp. And I said, well, that's not accurate for our county every other year. Right. Now this year it'll be fine. This year it's fine. No one's getting 2 ballots. But pieces of paper. Sorry. Well, it is 2 ballots. It's a retention ballot.
So
yes,
how much will it cost to mail that? Is it, I know.
Well, this year, 1 first class stamp.
Okay.
Yes.
Because that is always, that always is a problem. Could we add that, Samantha, please, to our One first class stamp will do it.
But again,
Yeah, I hate that. Should either say proper postage.
right, which is what our instructions say.
Mhm.
Yes, so these are okay for this year. But next year, when we have a retention ballot and a municipal ballot.
Right, it won't work.
Right, so this will be changed. Yes. Just make sure I didn't miss anything with all those. I think that was all I had for that. I just want to keep mentioning that there will be
Please do.
places, people sending applications, not ballots. Remember their applications, open them, look at them. You know, I think there's a lot of assumptions made because it says official election mail on them when they go out and things like that. You know, open them up. There are not candidates listed there. It is an application to receive a ballot.
In that vein, Bethany, is there any way that someone can go on the state system and see that they are on that permanent list to be receiving a ballot? Will they be
Yes.
listed? Okay.
There is a ballot tracker on the state's website, which we have on our webpage linked to, that goes directly to that site where you can put your name in and confirm, you know, where your ballot is in the process, so that you've applied, we've mailed it, you've returned it, whatever it is. Yes, they can go and check.
I knew there was the ballot tracking, but I didn't know if it tracked it, the request to get a ballot first. So that's wonderful.
Yes.
We should definitely be referring
Yes.
people to that.
Yes,
Perfect.
so, yeah, and I think last election, Ben put out a social media with the ballot tracker link on there, so people could start to see as their ballot came back and things like that.
And we'll review everything that we've done and we have been, and just we'll ramp it up as
Mhm.
this, the primary and the presidential will be ramping it up even more.
Okay, and then the other thing I wanted to mention was the 90-day quiet period, which the county entered on January 25th. The 90-day quiet period is, means that we cannot remove voters based on maintenance mailings that we would do. The only way to remove a voter at this point in time would be that the voter requests that, or we hear from the Department of Health that the voter has passed away. Otherwise, there's no systematic voter removal programs that are allowed during this 90-day quiet period, which started January 25th. So I just wanted to note that.
Thank you.
And then one thing I would like to bring back, and it hasn't been, I don't think we have done this for probably since 2016, is we do have voters that apply for a 50-year voter program, which means they voted for 50 consecutive November elections. And so they apply, we collect all the data, we send it to the Department of State. They issue that voter a certificate. Well, I don't really remember where it went or why it went, but I would like to start presenting those to the individual at the Board of Elections meetings. We used to do it that way and it kind of went away. So I'd like to bring it back. I'd like to just do it once a year. So we'll kind of collect them through the year and then do it. And I would like to do it the last meeting in the spring. So for the spring election, so the very last one where we certify the results and all of those things, I would like to have it on the agenda for then, and we'll do it once a year if you all think that's okay.
Sounds great.
Okay. I just think it's a big deal and we really haven't been making it a big deal. So I'd like to go back to making it a big deal. Anyway, so that's everything I have.
Great. Did anyone else have any questions for Bethany? This time? All right, there's been a request for an executive session regarding pending litigation and security, which will be held immediately following this meeting. Is there any other business to come before the board at this time? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. So moved.